Okay, so yesterday or last week we learned about how to do perpetual inventory, and we learned how to do the first method, which is the first in, first out method. Now today we're going to be learning about section point 8.2, where we're actually going to be learning the second costing method, which is the Lifo method. All right, what the last in, first out is going to be. So we've seen this before, right? It's the last batches are usually the first one to leave, or they're the ones that you sell out first. And here are the same exact formulas that you will be encountering, except this time again, what's a little different is going to be how you're going to calculate your cost of goods sold, as well as calculate your goods available. So with that being said, in this particular form, right, it moves along because every time you update your inventory, right, whether you made a purchase or whether you sold something, you're constantly updating it. So whether you keep track of it, FIFO, LIFO, or whatever it is, it's best that you try to follow each line and successfully go through each one. So these are the formulas, but they may or may not apply to you. Okay.
So are we supposed to be seeing that already, or?
Oh my gosh, I forgot to share my screen with you.
I just want to make sure that you weren't just going over something with us instead.
Continue. All right, let me make sure it's running. Okay, so here again, these are formulas, whether they do work for you or apply for you, but it's all on how to calculate everything. So the formulas are not something you need to memorize, but it's also good to know how to apply it. All right, so again, we're looking at this concept here, or this example right here, where on June 1st, okay, we made a purchase of 100 toys for $1.25 each, and freight was $25. Okay, so again, we're gonna apply it to our little table here. We're gonna apply it to our little middle section, which is meant for inventory purchases. Okay, so here I have quantity of 100. My unit cost is going to be $1.25, which should give you $1.25, plus my freight of $25 should give me a grand total of $1.50, and then by dividing it evenly across my quantity of 100, it should be $1.50 each. Okay, and again, I'm going to go ahead and utilize colors because that helps me stay organized as well as help me do my calculations good. So I'm going to go ahead and use colors. So I chose red, right? Just to indicate that's batch number 1. So then on June 3rd, you sold 55 toys for $5 each. Okay. All right, and in this case, I've already solved for my cost of goods sold, but I have to go to my inventory worksheet to be able to find out what those calculations are. So here I apply that on June 3rd in my cost of goods sold section. I'm going to do my quantity as 55. And because I only have one batch and one batch that only exists, that means I'm going to go ahead and take from this 150 and apply it here. And I'm going to calculate 55 times 150 to get me a grand total of $82.50. All right. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and subtract that out to indicate so then I can calculate my inventory on hand a little better. So in this case, I'm going to take my 100, I'm going to subtract the 55 to get myself 45 remaining. So now my first batch, which is my red batch, is going to indicate here that it is for 45 items left, remaining at $67.50. Okay. Then here's my next scenario here. On June 5th, I made another purchase of 100 toys at $1.28. All right, and then recognizing that the freight cost is going to be $26. So here I'm gonna apply the into the purchases area. Here's my 100. It's $1.28, and my freight is 26. So by calculating my total purchases, right, it's going to be for $128. Okay. By adding my $26 in there, my total is going to be now $154. And then if I divide that by 100, it's going to give me a total of $154 per item. All right. And now that I have a second batch, I'm going to go ahead and color it as well. I'm going to color it yellow, right? Just so then I can indicate that this is batch number 2. All right. So then June 10th rolls around and you made another purchase of 100 toys for $1.30 with the freight costing you $27. Okay. So here I've already done the calculation for you. All right. It's for 130 plus 27 makes it 157 to make each item cost $1.57 each. And of course, because this is batch number 3, I'm also going to highlight it green. Okay. So now I have a total of 3 batches. I have the first batch to be 45, second batch to be 100, third batch to be another 100. Okay. So then what happens here is on June 12th, you sold a total of 120 toys at $5 each. Okay. So by looking at that, I sold 120. So because I'm using the last in, first out method, which batch am I going to take out from first?
The green batch.
The green batch. And then the next one is going to be your yellow batch. So in here, I know that my first 100, right, is going to be the green. So I'm going to eliminate that whole entire thing. So I don't even need to make any calculations there, right? I know that's for 157. So I'm going to go ahead and zero it out right there. So here, my green batch has become 0, right? Now, I still have to take a remaining of 20 items from my yellow batch. And how much does it cost me to sell for one item for my yellow batch? $1.54.
Oh. I was doing the total amount, quantity. Duh.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so $1.54 should get you a grand total of $30.80 to sell, right? So the 20 items cost me that much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract out that 20 items, and now my yellow batch becomes 80 items, costing me at $123.20. Okay, for still at $1.54. So now only remaining the red batch and the yellow batch. Okay, and that is pretty much my end of the scenario, right? I reached my 125. I recognize that, and I've sold all 175 items. Okay? So then what happens when you have beginning inventory? So as you remember, right, I still had a remaining of the 45 batch and a remaining of the 80 batch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry that over into my next section over here. Now I would put it on inventory on hand, but in this case, I don't have the space for it. So here I'm recognizing that I need to indicate that I have a batch for the 45 and I have a batch for the 80. Okay? To give me $125. 125 items. All right? So here on June 15, you had a total of 105. Okay, so next one. So June 18, you sold another 90 items for $5 each. Okay? So just by looking at the batches here, how many items do I have left of yellow? 80. And I need to sell 90, right?
Right.
So I'm going to take 80 and I'm going to take 10 away from the red batch. So that's what happened here. Okay, and then with that, I know what 80 is going to cost me. It's going to cost me $123.20. 20. So there's no calculations I really need to do there. I can just eliminate it and it just becomes 0. Okay? And the next one is I need to take 10 away from my red batch. My red batch is going to cost me $1.50 to sell. Okay? So how much is that total?
$15.
$15. Good. So then I'm going to go ahead and subtract that out from my 45 batch. And now my new batch for the red is now going to be 35. And that's all I have left. Okay. So then what happened next was on the 21st, you made a purchase of 100 toys for $1.32. So I go ahead and make my new indentation here. I place my 100 items at $1.32, giving me a total of 132.
132.
Plus my freight here of 26 to give me a total of 156. Oh, 58. Sorry.
158.
I divide that by my quantity to get me $1.58. And because it's a new batch, I'm going to also color it another color. Okay. All right. So then on the 25th of June, I made another purchase of 100 toys for $1.35 and freight was 27. So I went ahead and solved it for you. Okay. And with that being said, I have another batch and I'm going to color it yellow again. I mean orange. This is orange. Okay. So then on the 27th of June, you sold a total of 120 toys for $5 each. 120. So looking at my batches now, which batch am I going to be taking out of first?
The orange.
The orange batch. That's correct. So now I'm going to take my orange and my second one's going to be taken out of the blue one, right? So I'm going to go ahead and place my orange batch, which is cost me $1.62. So what's $1.62 times 100, which we already know. We don't need to calculate that. All right, we're taking the whole batch, so it's for 162. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract that out of my inventory. Okay. Next here is I have 20 items. Which batch am I going to be taking it out of?
That's the blue.
The blue batch, which cost me $1.58 each. Okay. So go ahead and calculate 20 times $1.58.
$31.60.
$31.60. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract that out, bringing my new value in my blue batch to be 80 items at $1 at $126.40. Okay. All right. And then last batch that we have here is on June 28th. You sold another 65 units at $5 each. And then on June 30th, you had a total of 50 toys left on hand, right, or in inventory. Okay. So we sold another 65. 65, right? We only have 65. And which batch are we going to be taking it out of?
The blue.
The blue. So we're going to continue going with the blue, which cost me $1.58 each. So then now we are now down to 102.70. So we're going to subtract that out to bring us a grand new total for my blue batch to be 15. So 35 plus 15 does in fact get you 50. And that's exactly what my ending inventory should be at all times. So by looking at this, right, we notice that our red batch was from our very, very, very beginning of the month. It keeps, no matter how much we keep buying, this amount, the red one, the original one, should be at the end of your inventory, right? It's the assumption where that's the one that you're trying to you're gonna wait to give up last, okay? Because it's the first thing that you bought, so you want to try to hold on to it as long as you can. While every other batch that you purchased, you just got rid of immediately. Okay. So that is the last in and first out method, right? Any questions in regards to how we did this?
No.
Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to stop the video here.